Yeah. So this is a Raf that's about to record an episode, or he's thinking about recording an episode, but he can't because people are indecisive. And I really, really, really want to get started on this fucking episode, but I can't because people are really, really indecisive and don't know what they want to do or aren't being straight up. I.e., listen, bro, if you don't want to hang out with somebody, just let them know that you don't want to hang out with them. And yeah. And if you honestly, I'm just yapping. So the video that's meant to be watched that Raf means to record is about to start. And so I hope you enjoy that. Thank you for letting me borrow your ears. And I'll let future Raf take it away. I just honestly a little intro before the intro before the thing. Hey, we're getting meta. Is this called growth? I think this is growth. Also, this video is sponsored by hydration. Make sure you hydrate or dihydrate because my lips are very chapped and I'll probably be licking them a lot. So please, I'm self-conscious. Don't judge. Now back to the video. January 9th. Continuing to move forward. Took me a second. I had to breathe, analyze the whole situation before I could start moving forward. There's a lot for me to learn, reinforce, and work for. Pain waits for me around the corner. So what's gonna be my outlook? How will I cope? How will I undo my wrongs? Through action? Part of me wants people to acknowledge the process I'm about to put myself through. But I need to learn to detach myself from those beliefs, wants. Carve a new path forward. When you expect nothing, everything's a gift. And I'll get there eventually. So this is that journey towards that. And it's a long one. So I know I best start learning how to fall in love with it. So this is it. The start of something great. Now what will you do with it? Raf. Damn, I'm fucking 2025. An apology letter to myself. And in that time, I think I journaled more than I have the 2 years before that, or the year and a half before that. So, a lot that I've taken in, a lot that I've reflected upon, a lot that I've been trying to move past. I even made a little bucket list. I mean, I forgot about this page, not gonna lie, but consistent back tuck. I got that bit checked off. Submit to the new Zandu. Did not do that. Run a marathon. Did not do that yet. Secure a summer internship. Have not done that yet. Climb mountains with Tristan Brown. Did not do that yet. Although I did climb a mountain. So technically, but not with Tristan, sadly. Spring 25 Dean's List. I was point one. I was so close. But I didn't do that. And then that's it. I stopped right there because I just eventually moved on to more pages, right? So let me go to this one right here. January 21st, 11:06 a.m. I basically got fired from work. Plus, my knee's been hurting a lot from landing on it from every failed tuck. To be honest, I have no sense of control over anything, which isn't anything new. It's anxiety partially because of my actions, and partially because of the way people have been acting. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm hyperanalyzing. I don't know. I've been closing my eyes a lot. I'm scared of getting hurt. I feel vulnerable. Um, Sorry, I have one more excerpt from the scripture I don't want to read. Writing in writing in Oh, I see. Okay. This is February 18th, Tuesday, 2:01 p.m. Writing in hopes hope hope it clears my anxiety. Maybe not entirely, but it's directly on me. I don't know why I'm rhyming, but it's been a minute. Crazy how I never do what makes me feel mentally better. A lot to unpack lately. Religion, friends, choir, love, cheer. A lot goes on in my mind. I find myself on the back foot of tempo. I need to shine. I want to shine. I want to be great. So why do I stop myself? I don't know. But we need to push past it, especially to reach my goals. I want to shine. And what you do before? You know what you do before? You cut, you sandpaper it, and you polish. It's gonna hurt. Actually, it hurts now, but that's growth. It starts a step at a time, and I know that what I'm doing helps. Gabe says he prays for me, and that truly means something. So I hope to live up to it in healthy ways. So my little prayer here is, and this is the prayer. It's kind of corny. God, please keep my mom and dad safe. I know I haven't been the best son, but I try. And I want to make sure they don't feel left down. Please keep my closest people in close. Don't let them commit wrongs. Don't let them commit wrongs like I have, or don't let them get hurt like I've been hurt. It comes with time, and I am learning. Thank you for your patience. And can we do? Maybe we'll do one more. We'll do one more excerpt. How do I move forward with genuine intention? Oh, this is from 11:23 a.m. February 21st. Sitting in Lakeside. How do I move forward with genuine intention? I don't want to become inauthentic. I want my actions to be pure, kind, and moving and forward moving. I want to stay in love with this game of life that we are in and playing. I took a couple step backwards today, but how can we continue? I ask for the energy and spirit to continue pursuing the dream. I also want to think about my parents for a bit, keep them safe and healthy. They do a lot, and I appreciate them so much. I want to visit them soon, but it's going to be hard. Keep my toxic brothers on track and from temptation. The enemy is everywhere, and I don't want them to ruin their shots at a good life. And to those that we've hurt, please put healing in their hearts. Let them grow from scars that we've created. To all my friends as well, let their good nature shine through and their goals be achievable. Finally, I just need guidance about my emotions. These last passing weeks, all filtering all the unnecessary out, staying on the right path. Amen. Oh, this one was a good. This is a good section right here as well. This is one. It comes from February 23rd in the third floor study room at 9:44 PM. I don't want to carry hate in my body anymore. Please protect them and help them though their daily and through their daily challenges. I care about others too much. That was never a bad thing, but eventually I'm gonna learn that I can't help everyone, and that eventually it's gonna break me. It's gonna break my heart one day. But what's new? More to come. I'm gonna be A1. Best believe it. So, why am I reading all of this? This is kind of the mindset that, uh, not maybe not the mindset. This is kind of the where I'm coming from. Everything I say here, I still believe. I still care about. I still think about. But it's so much more different because here I was still in that dark place. I was rooted. I mean, granted, I was way, 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 way. I was doing way better in the journey. Um, right. So I was probably like around here. I'd say right now. Well, I guess it's flipped. So right now, I'd say I'm kind of up here, and at the beginning of the year, I was probably like here. But I mean, a year ago, I was probably all the way down here. Not a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever I started the journey, or starting to put genuine effort towards trying to become a genuine person, you know, and I don't know, a lot of my social life, not social life, but a lot of that development from here to here completely went unnoticed. And I was grinding in silence for real. You know, it's not that people didn't believe in me, but it's just I felt like no one believed in me. I felt like I was just in my head because, of course, I have people believing in me. And then once I hit I plateaued for a little bit. Once I, funny enough, at around 200 pounds, I plateaued for a good three months, where I was just like, I'm I know that this isn't good enough. It's not that it's not good enough. It's not where I want to be, but it's way better than I was. I was probably down 30 pounds by then, so I was like, all right, let me chill here and let's see where we go. And within that, I that's where all that came from. I didn't realize it, but the reason why I was stuck there wasn't because of my choice. I was I was lost. I was rooted. And so it's like, okay, damn. I didn't I thought I was just, I thought I was hovering at the time. I thought, I'll continue eventually. I just don't want to do it right now, but little did I realize I just couldn't go anywhere. I was stuck. Truly, truly, truly stuck, and took a long time for me to acknowledge that. Even at the beginning of summer, I was still in that. Not at the beginning of summer, towards the end of the school year. That's when I started to kind of unroot myself a little bit, but I was still so misguided. I was holding on to an old Raph, not because I just because I didn't know. I was scared to be something greater because I don't know what that would have done. I didn't know if that would have kept the if that would have pushed the people I care about away, if that would have brought them closer. I didn't know what any of that was going to do. So April April 11th. Let me read a little excerpt. I find my voice irritated. I have a test right after choir, so yes, for future reference, I'm sitting out. Stop day was yesterday, Relay for Life is today, and we have a concert tomorrow. This week has been pretty light, but but it's picking up again, and soon I found myself drowning in my own world. Topics that matter to me right now, and then I list a name of people. Um, I'm not gonna say it for this for my own sake, and this girl I'm interested in. The more the more I help, the more I am becoming intertwined in their world, and the more it starts to take a toll. Gabe and I had a good talk about some of these topics over at the old mill. Oh, like the old mill one, or the one at Valle Azul. I also didn't get rehired for Cape, which has me in all sorts of moods. Interesting. A certain person, who I will not name, had a moment last night. Maybe it's because she didn't know how to deal with the pressures of her own mind, which isn't a dog on her, but it reminded me a lot of insert ex girlfriend name here, and some of the things she used to do back in high school, which put me in a weird spot. I found myself reverting to some unhealthy decisions, making, giving way too much to people. Again, as I struggle to find balance, I feel like I'm losing my independence in moments like that. I know that I I noticed that this morning when I was studying with insert person that I'm not going to tell you about. She was dealing more with a stop day hangover, but the concept still applies. A lot on my mind, a lot happening. I haven't even talked about, and then I can't tell you those things, but I list a couple of things that bother me. And so that's the issue, right? I was I was in this dark spot, and then I kind of cracked the door open a little bit. And then I thought the crack in the door was it, you know? I thought, wow, it can't get any better than this. This is as good as it gonna get. And so I started giving myself out. I gave myself out a lot to others emotionally. I let myself get treated way worse than I should have allowed myself to. Not because I don't know my worth, but because I didn't know my worth. It's not that like I don't want to be like these bitches ain't shit, but also it was just like I just didn't know how to handle the situation, and so then when it backfired on me, I let myself get dogged on. I let myself get insulted. I let myself get dragged through the mud. I threw myself a huge ass pity party, just to allow this person to get their lick back because I know that I did something wrong, or I think I did something wrong. And I was kind of in this rut. I wasn't going forward. I wasn't going backwards. I was stuck. I was stuck. I was stuck. I was focused on the wrong things, and that's what that's what um yeah. And that's when one of my, I'm gonna say, best friends. I don't know if is he my best friend. He is. Yeah, dude. I haven't had a best friend in a long time. Uh, Gabe. Yeah, I think he's my bestie. I see him more as a mentor nowadays, and he as it's weird, cause like he's like one of my favorite people, but he's also my mentor. Well, I see him as a mentor. I don't know. That not the point, but he told me one day, I wrote this down. Um he said, "Know when people are good for you and who Yeah. Know when people are good for you and who and when good people are around. And I, at first, just like many things that Gabe has ever said to me, I kept it in the back of my mind, but I didn't truly understand what he meant, which is funny because literally the next quote that I have written down is, "You never listen to me, but after a few fuck ups, you pick up and you start picking it up, and that's a good thing." And that's just referencing the fact that most of the advice that he gives me, I write it down, but then I never fucking listen. Literally, bar number 3 right here. You never listen to me. And that's funny. But know when people are good for you and when good people are around. And around this time, I decided to dis- try to distance myself from people because I didn't. It's not that I didn't think they were good for me, but I kind of wanted to restart, reset. I was so tired of messy situationships or mixed signals that kind of led nowhere, but pain and struggle, at least for me, and or dealing with emotional baggage that truly isn't my job to deal with, not because I want to be a bad person, but just because it's not in my wheelhouse to be able to help a friend like that. There's a reason why therapists shouldn't be your best friends, right? Multiple relationships. We talk about that in counseling. And so I decided to step back. And of course, a lot of people took that as like, wow, Raph, you're fucking shit, bro. You're leaving me out here like after everything. And that kind of hurt a little bit. And so that fear kind of kept me from truly fully leaving. I kept my foot on the door, and eventually the fucking door starts creaking. And then next thing I know, I'm in too deep, and I still realize that I haven't resolved anything. And now, worse than ever, I try to step back, and it all blows up in my face. Part of it is definitely is my fault for not being able to communicate properly, for not really knowing what I want out of something, but that's because I I don't know what I want. I don't know what a good relationship is. They're both friendship and of course like lovey-dovey wise. And I was like, all right, whatever. Now and now that I've done that a little bit, my growth has been more exponential, but it's also like it maybe it's my own humility, or maybe it's me trying to make up for my lack of humility or my lack of something. Maybe I don't want to become arrogant, and that's why I'm so hard on myself. I look back on those moments where I try to distance myself and just kind of relive that pain to kind of remind myself that, dog, you ain't shit, bro. You ain't shit. Look at, you know. So with that, um, yeah. So we get to summer and I just had a couple goals for myself. My two roommates, Chewy and Gabe, they're probably some of the most fucking head down, hardworking, go get after it. Literally, another Gabe quote I have right here is, um, be about it. Be about it. And they are fucking about it, bro. At least, I don't want to say at least because they're still fucking getting after it, but Gabe had two jobs. He was hitting the gym. He was fucking doing this and that. Chewy was working. I think he was working. He was like playing basketball, going to his soccer games for which basically was a job. Doing his like coaching job And I think he still had another job thrown in there, and he'd still go on fucking 5 mile runs every day. And so, kind of living around that, that's the energy I wanted to be tapped in, you know. Sure, I would work the night shifts at Casey's, and maybe I only had one job, but like I'd go running, I'd hit the gym over the summer. And so like, yeah, but also I just didn't fulfill myself in other aspects. I neglected my mental a little bit, I'd say, just because I was like, it's summer. And I think it was also a little bit good. It is summer. I was away from everybody. I had to learn how to deal with my own boredom inside my head. And I think that was a good thing. I think it was a good thing. So and yeah, what does this have to do with anything? It's the fact that nowadays I feel I feel held down by my past. I feel held down by everything that has just kind of been weighing on me, you know? Like I don't want to leave it. It's almost like some sort of survivor's guilt where I just want to leave it behind me and move forward to something else completely. But that's also what made me me. And honestly, what is this new me? Now that I'm this new Raf and I'm experienced, like, let me think, let me think. So, like I was saying, sorry, I'm I'm in a million different places right now. Um, I don't know where I'm going forward because now I'm not at my lowest. I'm somewhere else entirely. I mean, people are starting to acknowledge finally. Well, I shouldn't say finally. That's very entitled. But like people are starting to acknowledge the fact that I have changed a lot. Not just physically, but mentally and happierly, like, and now I'm at this whole different place and it's like where do I pivot from here? How do I continue moving forward without, being shackled to the past and feeling so fucking held down all the time, so in my head because it's when I'm in that zone, it's like I'm moving forward, but I have my eyes closed the whole time. I don't know where I'm stepping. I don't know if it's gonna break, I'm gonna trip, or I'm gonna fall. I'm just moving forward blindly, and I feel like I'm holding all this weight for no good reason. And but I also don't want to just take off and run. Is that maybe it's I don't know. It feels selfish to just forget, not necessarily forget, but just move past it like nothing ever happened. So um so later in life, not later in life, this was a while back ago. So this was in April. This was between April and late July. So I probably wrote this down around July. I wrote down some questions I have. Who am I when I'm stutter? Who am I when I am at my lowest? Who do I become when I'm at my lowest? You know, it's I had to ask myself that again and again and again. Who am I when I'm at my lowest? I'm a fucking loser. I'm a nerd. I'm kind-hearted. I'm a kid that doesn't I don't know what I'm doing a lot of the time. I don't. And it's so foolish for me to think that I ever do think I know what I'm doing, which is why I'm not at this high point. I'm not at this low point. I'm at a high point. So it's who am I becoming now that I'm reaching what seems to be the highest probably ever in my life, if not close, soon to overtake it, is who am I right now? Now that I'm getting more attention, I'm getting more, you know, more looks. Am I gonna let it get me distracted? Am I gonna become delusion in my own brain that I'm so great and I deserve all this? You know, but to an extent, I know nobody deserves anything. Nothing is ever inherently deserved. I feel like you have to work for it. If you want something, you have to work for it. And I feel like, but it's also just like, also, like, I don't know. And I also put, stop letting jealousy create excuses. While luck can exist, it is often dictated by the way you have set yourself up. Focus on what you have to bring to the table. How do I do that for myself? How do I bring myself up? What skills do I have that can help me? And to be fair, now that I'm up, I really don't know what I've done different. Or, and yeah, of course, be yourself and all that, but it's like, cool. But also, when I've been myself, I've also been myself at my lowest. So, what are we really doing here? You know? I don't know. And I've been trying to get on my religious grind, obviously. I think I've made that pretty clear. If I didn't, there's a whole episode. Go watch it. Um, I said, or I heard this from something. I think it was a Joe Rogan MMA podcast. I think it was Ilya Tempora around that's the episode I listened to that made me write this. It was that or someone either before him or after his interview, like an MMA fighter. And I put, when your way isn't working, turn to God, follow his plan, and let it become y'all's way. Oh wait, this was from a YouTube video. This one was from a YouTube video that I watched. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't from Joe Rogan's podcast. It was from a YouTube video. But that, when your way isn't working, turn to God and let His plan, follow His plan, and let it become y'all's way. And it's just a play on Yahweh. But anyways, and the reason why we're gonna bring this closer. The reason why I felt like that was important is I started to let go of that of control because I realized that control in of itself, or at least holding on to it, I feel like is part of the ego. Or it's part of that arrogance that I fight is that control because I'm a control freak. That's the reason why my room is the way it is, and everything gets placed at exactly. I have to have a sense of control because I've never ever because it's hard. I felt like I haven't been in control. There was a whole year of my life where I didn't feel like I was in control, and now that I feel like I'm more, you know, and I don't want that to go away. And but how do I keep going forward without it? And I know acknowledging it that it's a problem. Maybe it's not even a problem, and I'm just creating my own problems. I think a lot of issues are self-made. I do believe that, but it's like I don't know. What am I even rambling about? What am I even rambling about realistically? It's hard to be it's hard when your life is going so well to because obviously you can just say well, just keep doing what you're doing and it'll keep working. But it feels almost too easy. it feels too easy. Like it's an easy excuse to now be like, yeah, I'm praying more, I'm working out more, I'm eating healthy more, and obviously if I keep that trajectory, I'm gonna keep growing. But is that really the formula? Is that really the formula? And how am I gonna be like, maybe I feel like I haven't been really tested in a while, and I think that's part of the issue. And maybe I am in ways that I'm unaware of, but I don't know. I think I have to learn to live with the fact that something traumatizing doesn't have to be going on in order for me to to grow from something. Or I need to learn how to acknowledge the fact that I'm still growing despite, you know, because right now it's so easy. Um uh the yesterday I ate Chinese food, and today, one of my good friends, I'm gonna shout him out. Shout out Trenton, bought me Den today. He was like, "You're hungry, bro? Here, let me feed you. A man's gotta eat. If a man's hungry, he's gotta eat." I'm extremely grateful for that. And also, we'll get to that gratitude part a little bit later. But it's just like, okay, um, it's not like I'm cheating on my 75 hard. I already went to the gym. I already did my run. I did everything, and the food itself falls within the specifications. No sugar, like no added sugars, and nothing that's gonna fucking kill me. Like, obviously, I didn't write no processed food, but like if I'm not eating too much processed food, 2 meals out of a whole week being processed, like kind of, I mean, the Chinese food is probably highly processed, but like the cafeteria's vegetables, maybe they're not the best quality, but they're probably not the most processed thing. So it's like in those moments, I'm like, hmm, I know I could be more stricter with myself. I, I don't know. I just don't know. So I start to create these issues in my own head. And maybe that's my biggest challenge right now is my own myself. The fact that I'm up right now and the fact that I don't know how to deal with success. Or because well, boo fucking who, Raph. You're so much fitter now. You're this and you're that, and you got everything. You got a lot of what you ever wanted. A lot of what you wanted. You're getting it right now. And realistically, if I continue my trajectory, there should be no reason why I lose it, right? If I keep increasing my faith, my work ethic, and all that, like realistically, even if something bad were to happen and I were to lose it all. Let's say I have to start from scratch, bro. I get injured and I gain all that weight back. Like nowadays, it's like I don't know, and maybe that's the reason why I have such hard time because I have to I create these setbacks for myself in my head. Like I need to have some sort of setback in order to keep going forward, but I just can't go forward. Um, I don't know. 1 second though. Someone's I gotta attend to this. All right, and so that kind of pivots a little bit to that genuineness. So my biggest fear right now is that I'm not living genuinely enough, or at least I don't feel like I'm being genuine enough. Cause I'm a very awkward person. I've never, I don't know, like I'm an extrovert, but once I start to dig deep, a little bit deeper, or put myself in more socially uncomfortable situations, I just don't know how to act. And so I kind of become cold, not cold, but like I become a little bit distant. Um and it kind of comes off a certain way, um, because people think that I'm this extrovert because that's the way I project myself as this huge extrovert. But then once I get I'm with them, I'm like, I because I don't know what to do, and that honestly that's another concern that I have right now is I hope people don't think I'm becoming arrogant, or I'm scared of, maybe I am arrogant because I get compliments, or I'll, like I said earlier, that friend that bought me that food, like I'm thankful, but after talking to him for a little bit, I just didn't know what to say anymore, and I was like, hey, bro, like I, I'm gonna go sit where my stuff's at because I just like, and then I kind of left him a little bit, and but then like when the food came up, he was there, and then we chatted a little bit more, and then I went back to my thing, and it's just like I just didn't know how to engage, and I I hope it didn't come off disingenuous. Like I truly was grateful that he bought me food, but I wish I was. Maybe that's my next challenge is becoming more sociable. Um, Especially because this guy, he's a, he's I love him. I love him to death, but he's also a social oddball. But much more in the fact that he, like, I pull back too much, he inserts himself a little too much. So we have the opposite problem. And it's like I don't want to come off as disingenuous because then it's fuck that guy. And I don't want it to be like that. Or when I went to the gym with this friend today, and he was just hyping me up, giving me compliments, and all I could do is just be like, thank you. And I just didn't know what to do. I'm awkward. Whenever we were lifting, he was like clapping, he was cheering, and whenever he was lifting, I just watched him, and I was like, I mean, obviously, I acknowledged what he was doing, like with the head nod and just making sure, like, if something were to happen, I'm there to help him. But it's like different, because I'm like, I'm cheering for you, just not outwardly, if that makes sense. And I don't know, maybe that is ego. You know, why am I being so distant? Why? Like, why can't you cheer for your friends? Why can't you talk to this guy a little bit more? Why do you feel so entitled? Maybe I feel, maybe it's like a sense of entitlement. I don't know. It's interesting. It's super super interesting, and I definitely feel that right now. I think spending a lot of time alone in the summer, it kind of created this isolation in my head where I kind of feel like I'm just on my own journey, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe I've put myself in a plateau where I feel like no one can relate to me, but I don't know. I really don't know. And it's something that I want to keep, I'm working at it because my biggest thing is pride. I don't want to become prideful. Pride disillusions. A prideful person doesn't know that they're prideful, but compared to a greedy person, knows that he's greedy. He knows he's taking from people. A person that's gluttonous knows that he's gluttonous. He knows that he's consuming more than he wants. A person that just drives off of anger and is very wrathful knows he's wrathful. He knows he creates and inflicts fear upon others. But with arrogance, you start to create this own narrative that, oh, you're right. It's only you, and you deserve everything. You deserve everything. But it's hard because also I feel like I do deserve everything. At least at least when you're putting in the work. Because obviously I don't want to just total humility would say I'm working for nothing because I don't want anything. Or and maybe that is that should be the end goal. But I'm a human. My biology needs some sort of output. I mean input. If I'm putting all this energy out, I expect something to come back in. It's just the law of conservation. I don't fucking know. I'm not a physicist. So having a little bit of pride is good. But and this also falls on the advice that my Gabe gave me. And he says, I can't even remember if I read this quote earlier, but he says, make it a pride thing. Why the fuck would I want people to think I'm lazy, even on things and aspects I don't like? And that's true to an extent. Why do I want to show up to? Why do I want to show up to school in the most, you know, throwed on like sweats, stuff like that? Like, carry yourself with a little bit of pride. Prove that you want to be here. Walk with confidence. Walk with, but also be careful. Be careful. And that warning he gave me in this other bit of advice, which low key thinking back on it was one, but I separated as two. But it's like, why would I want to think I'm better than everybody in the room? I can learn from everyone. I can learn from everyone. Be someone worth listening to. Speak well, know what you're talking about. So yeah, he lays it out right there, right there. It's carry yourself with enough pride, but know when it's like too much. Stay humble. And I guess that's just the balance I'm struggling. I'm not finding that balance between humility, genuineness, and confidence. Because being confident feels evil. It feels selfish to be confident. Because I can walk around, with the fresh fade, the fresh fit, and just think I'm hot shit, but deep down, I'm not hot shit, bro. But I don't know. I innately need to be hot shit in order to show the world that, hey, I'm ready for whatever you throw at me. I'm confident that I can take it down. I don't want to show weakness, but it's also humble enough to know that, like, I'm not hot shit. I am weak. I'm always weak. Everybody's weak. We can always get stronger. And these are just themes that I'm just kind of exploring in my own head. I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. These are rambles because I'm very uncertain about a lot. I'm uncertain about my place in the world. I'm uncertain about if what I'm doing is right or wrong, if what I'm saying makes sense, if any of this is even on fucking topic, if any of this matters, because I want it to matter. I really do want everything to matter, and I want to put out the highest quality content, or think pieces or whatnot. But also, I'm here to have fun or something. I don't know. And so, I guess to not to end, but just like the whole point of this. So, what's the whole point of this, Raph? Why did you tell us all this struggle? Why? It's because honestly, one, I've said this many times before. I want myself to be able to look back at this video, or my kids, or someone down my bloodline to look back on this and be like, damn, that guy was interesting. He was going through it, or maybe not going through it. Maybe he was, like the way he thinks is interesting, and it's crazy to see Uncle Raph. That's Uncle Raph. Like that dude's crazy. He just shows up in parties. I don't know. I don't know what I'll be doing when I'm fucking 30. Maybe I'll be the crazy uncle at the barbecue that doesn't get invited, and I invite myself. Aunt Catherine was like, "Oh, I felt bad, so I had to invite you." Like I don't know who I'm gonna become. Maybe I'm the mature father figure. Maybe I have my whole life together. Maybe it all goes to shit from here. I don't know. I don't know what direction it's gonna turn, but in this moment of time, this is where I'm at. This is who I am. So, um, yeah. Let me. I just need another second. I'm so sorry, guys. And then we'll wrap it up. All right. Um, so the reason why I stopped because I wanted to go to another mentor that I have. I have a lot of advice that he's kind of said throughout the days written down, but I wanted to actually go through it and not have to page through and see if he actually wrote anything or if any of that relates, and it doesn't. Unless you want to know about uh, evolutionary lag and active observation and bonding over shared suffering, which are themes. They're episodes that I'm gonna create way, 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 way later when I talk about fraternity life, and maybe learning to be more sociable. I want to learn. I want to become a more social. This is kind of embarrassing and super off topic, but like I watch YouTube videos on how to talk to people sometimes because I genuinely don't know what to fucking say. I can't just be like Benjamin, you know? Uh whew. but but yeah, that's 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 where I'm at. That's my that's my journey right now with genuineness and trying to fight off the ego and the all that. Like that's me trying to grow, trying to make more understanding of this whole new life for myself that I am at. Also, look at this picture. Shout out my dogs. Shout out my dogs. Trying to make sense of it. Trying to make sense of it. Um so kind of to share a little bit of the mind, maybe it's a little bit of the mindset I'm operating under, but also kind of just where I'm at right now. Kind of this point of this point of view, maybe this vantage point that I've taken, and I want to share to the world. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I want to share it, and let me find it. Where is it? It's literally right here. It says this is Monday, July 28th, 10:28 p.m. I'm going to share this with y'all. The beauty of the world unravels, and it is shown to me. Its full glory under the trance in which this elixir of clarity provides. The inner workings of inspiration show themselves. Under the light of my MacBook, playing river sounds, I can clearly see the modern issue of distraction take a hold. For so long, I have thought that I have been winning, when in true reality, I am completely lost. Lost in the overabundance of people, the news, propaganda, all of it, because both good and evil. And it's one. For my free spirit is encapsulated. I see myself performing for others in a terrible play where the main character is pretty unlikable. Or when he dares to perform, it's a selfish dance. The eyes of the world are watching, critiquing. They try to understand, they try to observe, but in doing so, their own selfish minds hijacked things which they know nothing of. They view it all with their tainted lenses, smudged from the realities to which they have been exposed. But my spirit performs for those that have removed those lenses, those who truly understand the meaning of rawness, those who do not take. I perform for the ones that do not touch, nor dare try to smudge my lens. I thought I was bad at love, or or being a bad son, or not disciplined enough. In reality, I live in a crab barrel, constantly trying to pull me down with guilt, comparison, confusion. It's not that I'm unfaithful, but rattling chains scare me. For when I, the undefined, for I, when, for when I, the undefined, feel mal towards the equation that tries to solve me. So forgive me in my aloof attitude, as I do and complete what I believe is my purpose. So next time we talk, I don't want to hear torment. I do not want to poison my soul. Next time we meet, sing to me your discoveries. So until then, old friend, to this new life that I hope to live and breathe and be, may God be with you. May you stay focused. May peace and love encapsulate your heart. May everything that you deserve fall within your hands. Thank you for sitting down and listening to this episode. Thank you for everything. Thank you. And we'll just end it there. Does that have to do with anything? I don't matter. Fuck it. Hey, have a good night, y'all.